Hope everybody's doing well. Can you hear me? I know you can't see me quite yet. I'm still putting on my makeup, so just give me a second.
We can hear you.
Awesome, love it. Love it, love it. Good seeing you all. Peter, how goes it? My guy Victor, what's up, bro?
Victor NG is in the house. How about that?
In the building. Jen, the closers in here.
How's everyone doing?
Man,
Better now that you're here.
doing amazing. Great, great. Sounds like we're coming through just fine.
Nice to see you, Victor.
How you doing, Michelle?
Hey, Peter.
Hey,
Hey,
Michelle.
hey. What's going
Hey.
on, Michelle?
Hey, you know, in the rooms, getting better every day.
What it takes. It is what it takes. All right, let's let some more people in. There's the guy right there with the $1 million smile, Mr. Ed. What's up, bro?
What up, everyone? How are you guys?
I'm good, man. I'm amazing.
Really good.
All right, so while this is getting on the way, you guys know how we do. And everything we do is an opportunity to be able to meet that one person who will change your life. Now, they can't do that if they don't know who you are and they don't know how to get in contact with you. So if you can follow my lead, if you look at my name, I'm going to change it. I wanted to get my official backdrop, but first I'll change my name. So here we go. On your name, what you want to do is put obviously your name. You put where you at. So I'm in Georgia. Then we'll put your contact number.
We're not seeing your screen, Eddy.
Oh, you can't see my screen. Hold on. All right. You should be able to see me in like 10 seconds. But if you can change your name to your name and your contact information. There we go. All right. Ooh, I look good. Y'all see this? Y'all seen this? Official like the whistle. There we go. I didn't want to appear without having my official Freedom Chasers background on there. Looks good. And we gotta get you hooked up, man. We gotta get you suited and booted with the Freedom Chasers background. We're gonna get you one on tonight so you can change that. All right, so now we are doing that, and I see the chat is already doing what I love right there. Mrs. Anderson has it in the chat already. Put down what you are looking for, but you're missing one thing. All right. What do you think it is? Unmute yourself and let me see if you know what it is. I know you know. Who here could help her out? She put her name, she put her phone number, she put her email address, which is perfect. We know how to get in contact with her. She put what she's looking for. She's looking for 40 units inside of Florida. But what's one thing she is missing that she should have added?
I said Boynton Beach, Florida in the previous post.
Superpower.
You put, oh, I see, okay. That's good. That goes to show what you're looking for, but what you did not put, so this is really good. I love that you did this. So here's what I want you to do. First of all, I want you guys to have this on automatic, right? Open up a Word document and label that Word document Zoom calls, you know, whatever you want to call it, right? And then you want to, that way, every time you are in a Zoom, all you got to do is copy, paste, right? Now, what I want you to do, and with the part that I'm telling you missing is, remember, there's 3 points, 3 major points. The first is you want to make sure that you are putting your contact information, which you did. You want to also put what you're looking for, but you also have to make sure, this is the most important part. You have to put what your superpower is. What is it that you bring to the table? What can you offer? Why is this important? Because if I'm looking at this chat, or I download the chat at the end of the night and I'm going through and I see what you want, but at the end of the day, everybody is the same, right? Deep down, everyone has something that they're trying to gain and they need help with something. And so if you can first offer that aid before you get what you're looking for, you will find, Jim Rohn is probably one of my favorite teachers. And he is famous for saying this, that if you help enough people get what they're looking for, everything that you want
Will come.
will come. Every single thing, right? So I want you to put it all in one chat. That's the other thing, put it all in one chat. The reason why that's important is most people are not going to scroll up. Like once there's a good amount of people on these chats, right? Most people are not going to scroll up to try and find the last sentence that you said. A lot of times the chat is moving so fast, it's gone, right? And so they end up losing that opportunity to connect with you. And we don't want that, because that is the whole point of what we do. It is a community. And I want to actually show you guys that right now before we jump straight into this. As I promised last week, we're just going to go straight in. But I want to share my screen and show you guys what I'm talking about when I say community, and talking about the ecosystem. All right, Michelle, I love that. She did it. She put on everything. Our team is strong in underwriting and legal contracts. She put what she's looking for. She put a contact with me. Awesome. And also, you guys should definitely, connect with Michelle. She is an amazing human being. A firecracker. Is gonna do some damage in this industry. I'm super excited for her and looking forward to possibly doing some deals with her too. That'll be awesome. So you guys come by the way of the ecosystem. We got started on Sunday night. The activation. You see the fire right here, right? It's lit. Okay. We come in. You see these incredible human beings here. We have one of them here. I didn't see if the other ones, the chat just got too crazy. I can't even see how many people's in here yet. But we have Trevor, Victor, and Marcel. Typically, they have a host that comes on here. Last week was incredible. We had Mr. Rock Leaf. Before we had Vita. I mean, it's only going to get bigger and bigger and better and better. Trust and believe. The connections that they are piecing together and bringing that back to the community is impressive, to say the least. And they all the guests that are coming on here are all on the same understanding that they are coming to share and help everyone that's on here, right? So you are in the right place. And once you come off of that activation, you get to come hang out in the middle of the day with myself and Billionaire Pete. And if you were on the last couple of Zoom calls that we did, you know why we call him Billionaire Pete. Pete, if you can quickly unmute and tell everybody what's the benefit of coming to the Monday broker Zooms.
Well, the whole purpose is to get people to take action, to just encourage everybody that it's completely possible. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to know everything. But the more you come back, the more you learn to speak the language, the more confidence you can develop, the easier those phone calls get. And that's the start of the whole process. We've got to reach out to these brokers. We've got to talk to people, and we've got to get deals to underwrite. If we don't have any deals to underwrite, the rest of it doesn't matter. So it's all about encouraging you guys with the phone, build those relationships with those brokers. It all starts on Sunday night with the activation call, and then Monday we take action and get our week started. Come on and join us next week. I know many of you were there. Thanks for supporting that effort, and continue to come back. Bring your friends, bring your broker names, bring your phone numbers. Come on back.
There it is. There it is, Billionaire Pete. See Marcel's hype in the chat. What's going on, brother? And then on Tuesday, like tonight, you guys know that we are rocking in. If you're here, obviously you know what we're doing. If you're new, congratulations. We hope to take you off to the moon tonight with the first level of underwriting. What you need to know if your deal is actually a deal. And we don't just go over numbers of it all, we go over the mindset of it all, because it's extremely, extremely important, right? There's a big shift and a change that's taking place. In order for you to be successful in this space, like Peter just said, you do have to understand it. You have to understand the lingo. You have to understand there's a certain, bourgeoisie, as the French would say, right? About what it is to be in the multifamily space. And we get to kind of go over with that with you. And exactly what Stella said, right? It's the mindset that you need in order to take off. And then we have on Wednesdays. Now, right now, it's bi-weekly. And I want to be honest with you. I've been hearing a lot of rumbles from people in the community that want to be able to link up with Jerry and his team on a weekly basis. Jerry, can you unmute? Are you somewhere you can unmute and come speak with us? Let's see if we can get Jerry on. And what happens on these calls is extremely important, because if you look at what we're doing, if you look at the thought process behind, what Marcel and Trevor, when they got together and was like, we want to build this community, we really want to make a difference. And what they were looking for, they could not find. If you look at it, they are setting up the most impactful ecosystem that you will find in any group for free. There is no charge. I'm actually getting in Atlanta on the East Coast. It is 8:14. I quickly put my kids down.
Say that.
Right? Somebody's upset that it's 8:15 right now, but it's okay. It's okay.
I'm unmuted.
But I have so much going on. I actually have work happening in my background right now, right? And I told the guy, do what you can, because there's no way that I'm missing the opportunity to come connect with you guys, come connect with the family. And you see Jerry in the car being extremely illegal, but we appreciate you nonetheless. Jerry, quickly tell us, what can we expect from the Wednesday calls that you're doing, being the gentleman that you are, working with the money?
Yeah, we're just trying to educate the community. We started out real estate investing ourselves about 10 years ago, and we were uneducated. We watched some YouTube videos and thought we knew what we was doing, and we had some loan brokers and things that tried to put us through the ringer and take advantage of us, which prompted us to start our business about 3 years ago. And the purpose of the Zoom is just to kind of give back to the community, and it helps us get our name out there as well. I mean, that's the purpose of it. But we want to educate everybody, keep you up to date on what's going on. It's an ever-changing market. And we just that's the reason behind it. We love this community. You guys are doing a great job here on Tuesdays, and Pete on Mondays, and last Sunday was awesome. So I can't say enough about the community itself, but and we're honored and blessed to be a part of it.
Man, we appreciate you. The value that you bring is incredible. I think most people don't really get to that stage yet, right? Like they're like, okay, let's go out, let's find a deal. And then they work as hard as they possibly can and they find a deal. Then they're like, oh, is it a deal? Then they underwrite the deal. They're like, okay, cool, we did it. We underwrote the deal. And by the straight effort and grit and tenacity, you can get all that done on your own. And then it comes to the point where you have to realize, okay, now what? Where are we going to get the money? How does this all make sense? Can we afford to take this down? All those questions. Is this a good deal from someone who's dealing with money all day long? That is what Jerry provides to the community for free. And I mean, he's an all-around goal giver, just like everyone else in this place. And that's one of the reasons why you see we've come collectively together to be able to do what we do. Now, Ed, do me a favor, check your email. I want to bring you on here, but I want to get you nice suited and booted. You know what I mean? We want to jump straight into this. And so here's what we are going to do. You guys seen the ecosystem. I also want to show off, because I know some people are coming in from different places, but I want to show off a great website link that I think everyone should be following. If you're not, I don't quite know why not. But it's imperative, I think, to follow the Freedom Chasers Facebook page. It's one of the things that has, essentially changed my business, my partner's business, our team, and everything that we're doing. And it's one of those places that if you are just stuck and trying to figure out how do you get to the next step, what is the next step, what's the next thing that we do, this is the place you want to do it. All right. So you see all these individuals, and I'm going to give you guys a clue. I'm going to give you guys a hint what you should be doing. All right. This is what I want you to do. Outside of the Zoom, that right now we have close to 50 people on the Zoom. We haven't even got started yet, and there's 50 people on the Zoom. Everyone in here, you should be connecting with everyone else. So if nothing else happens, you now have 49 other contacts other than yourself. Okay? Abby just joined us, so now it's another. All right? Now, what I would recommend you do is that you come into this group and you look to connect with every single person that's in here. Now, here's the best way to go about doing that. Don't just go in and go to the section where you see, all the individuals in the groups, right? Go into members. That's great. That is great. But you're going to go through 799 members, and we don't quite yet know for sure who is the person you want to connect with. So I would tell you what to do is go into discussion and start going through the post, because you want to connect with people who are just like you, who are active, who are going at it, who are looking to win now, not later. Okay, we were on a Zoom call early today, and we were listening to, I don't want to say his name because he's supposed to be a guest coming up soon. So I don't want to spoil no surprises. I'm gonna leave that for the Sunday team, right? But he was amazing. I'll say this, he was a rock star. All right. And one of the things that he made mention is right now is the most perfect time to be building. Right now is the perfect time to make connections. It's the perfect time to build relationships. You do not, I repeat, do not. I'm feeling stoic. I'm getting Martin Luther King vibes. I don't know if it's because it was his day the other day. I'm getting that energy, right? You do not want to wait until we are in the heat of it all. And I can promise you guys, it is coming. Please make sure you are aware. If you think the market is crazy now, and we're going to get deals now, and deals are coming up, I can promise you, it is coming, and it is going to be the biggest wealth-changing moment in the multifamily space, I want to say, if I'm correct, in the last 40, 50 years. We have not had an event that is forcing this new type of distressed seller. This isn't the distressed seller you're used to when we're talking about single-family homes. We're talking about people who have a really hard decision to make, and the best way to be able to alleviate the pain is to sell to individuals like ourselves who have learned what we need to learn, connected with who we need to connect with. So I want you guys to please, if you don't do anything else, make these things happen. Make those connections take place. All right. I want to jump into our thing for tonight. I don't want to take any more time on this, but I really, really, you know, people say I'm charging you. I'm seeing plugs being put in the chat. I'm really passionate to see other people win. And I would hate for someone to be on this call in the mix of us all and miss this opportunity just because they were ill prepared. So hear me out, right? Right now we have 55 people. This thing is people are going to continue to come in and grow. They're going to jump into this ecosystem. You want to make sure you know everyone that is involved, and you want to do it the right way. The way I suggest, you do not need to spend money. Like, look, trust me, I'm friends with a lot of these individuals in the marketplace. They have businesses, they sell their products. I love it. I absolutely love it. But I am telling you now, please do not come to me or be in my DMs and ask me what program you should be buying. You don't need to spend any money. What you need is Google, Excel spreadsheet, or Google Sheet. Go to the top, type in name, contact information, phone number, type in where you met them, type in what their superpower is, type in what they're looking for.
Eddie, let me jump in real quick.
Absolutely. Go ahead, sir.
So behind the scenes, I just thought of an idea and I confirmed it. We're actually going to do that for you guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a directory for everyone in our group specifically. And what we're going to have is everyone's name, number, email, skill set, location you live in, and your market. So we're going to have a directory that's going to be growing every day. Every Zoom call, we're going to have more people on, added to that. So then what happens is, because it's on an Excel sheet or Google sheet, you simply do control find, or you filter all the cities that you want, or let's say I'm looking in Dallas, Texas. I filter by Dallas, Texas. Everyone I know that's either living in that market or is buying in that market, I can filter right away. And that way I have a quick, easy way to get their emails, phone numbers, reach out and contact them. At the end of the day, one of the masterminds I'm a part of has the same feature. And we pay a lot to be part of that mastermind. But we know those are all action takers. We know they all have skill sets and are buying deals. So I'm like, okay, if they're doing it and they charge a lot for their network, why don't we do it? You know, guys, what we're trying to do is we're bringing value that's not only great, in my opinion, but it's like we're learning this from people we're paying. Like, this is all tricks and tips and the calculators I use and all these information we provide. Like, I learned this from people that we pay a lot of money and have access to. Not only that, though, is if you have any question I don't have an answer to, you for sure know I will go over there, ask them, and bring it back to all of you. Because at the end of the day, my resources are your resources. And that's what we're trying to build for your community.
That's amazing. That is amazing, man. All right, here, let me see something real quick, because I know.
And Edward, you beat me to that thought. I was gonna offer to do the directory. I mean, if you guys need help with that, I would definitely love to help you.
That'd be perfect. Send a message over to Ed in the chat so you guys can be able to connect and work that. I love that, Deidre. Appreciate that.
Appreciate it.
Of course, awesome.
And this is what we're
You're
talking
welcome,
about,
guys.
right? Joelle hit it around the head. It's all about collaboration. But I want to be clear, because I know sometimes, and it's not your fault, it's not anybody's fault, it's the world that we live in, right? There's a certain level of pessimism that have to be, like, it's just, you know, there's light, there's dark, okay? We're not going to make anybody feel bad about thinking this. But let me see who's ready to be honest here. Put a 2 in the chat if in the back of your mind you're like, wait a minute, what, all this for free? What's in it for y'all? I know they're gonna hit me with a Zoom $500 charge one day soon. I bet you wait, right? Sean is I love it. I love the honesty, right? Sean's like, yep, I know it's coming. Let's see who else. Sean can't be the
phone number, baby.
Sean's not the owner. Thank you. Let's be honest, right? And so we're gonna be honest ourselves too. After today, we will be charging $1,000 for every Zoom call. I'm lying. We're not charging for any of that. Here's what we really want. Here's really why we're doing this. Okay. And we want to be upfront, right? We're not hiding anything. If you guys listen to how passionate Trevor and Marcel are when they tell the story, the origin story behind multifamily freedom chasers, going after and looking for groups where professionals, entrepreneurs, and stay at home, like professionals who have kids and are stressed for time, 9 to 5ers, who are looking for a place to be able to do this, and there weren't none. And so they just built it themselves, right? If you build it, they will come. And one of the main thought process behind it was, let's build a community that we be the resources for each other. So it's not just helping you guys just to help, it's helping you guys so that we can do deals together. These guys are passionate about putting you in the position to win, giving you the resources you don't have. So now collectively we are stronger when we go after a deal. They want to give you guys the ability to be able to say, when you're talking to a broker and a broker says, well, tell me about your team, tell me a little bit about yourself and your team, what have you guys done? And you can tell them, well, my partners have already purchased a couple hundred units, and we're greedily, I don't know if that's the word, somebody help me look that up. We are greedily looking for more deals, but we want to work with the right brokers to do so. I can guarantee you that broker would change the way they're talking to you. That's called put some respect on my name. So here we go. Here's what we're going to do. Ed, are you ready, my friend?
Yeah, let's do it.
Born ready. Born ready. Now, here's what I want to find out. I want to find out, because I know some people had hit us up on the side. I know, Ed, you got a couple of emails as well, some deals people will need some help with. I want to put that call to action out again to everyone, right? If you have a deal, I want you to go ahead and let us know. Raise your hand in here and let us know if you have a deal. Okay, Tracy already. I love it. Tracy, raise your hand. Raise your hand, Tracy. I love it. I love it. One of the other things I want to do is I want you all to help me create chaos. Something that I've been working on, how to create more chaos, because
you sound like the Joker.
you can't be a secret agent when you're doing multifamily at all. You can't do it when you're doing real estate, period. But when you're doing multifamily, you cannot be a secret agent. No one here could be 007. Okay, everybody needs to know what you're doing and why you're doing it and how you're doing it. So here's what I want. I want you all right, really quick, to go ahead and get your phones out. All right, let me take this beautiful young lady off the stage really quick. Go ahead and get your phone out. And I want you to take a picture of your screen with all these faces on there. And I want you to post it on your social media. And I want you to be honest. I want you to put, this post is to create FOMO. This post is to create FOMO. And then put, I promise you, you're missing out. And here's the thing, I'm gonna do it because I'm a leader. I lead by example. So watch this. I'm going to my Instagram. Here we go. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, put that in. Boom. All right, tag that in. This post is to create FOMO. Capital FOMO, right? I promise you, it is amazing in here. All right, I promise you it's amazing in here. Multifamily underwriting. I'm gonna teach you, like, we're gonna do stuff like this all the time so we can teach you guys how to be able to do it, right? Not little FOMO, big FOMO, right? So I'm teaching you guys how to be able to do this and why you're doing it. So look, I put napkin underwriting. Go on, heavy. And then I want you guys to, you can tag us in it, but this is more so for you guys. All right. And what I want you to do is I want you to blast that out. And here's why I want you guys to do that. Because I want the people who know you, who are at home watching TV, have a subconscious download happen when they, between commercials, look through their phone, through their social media, and they're gonna notice that, Shelly's not watching TV after a long day of work. She's on something learning about multifamily underwriting. Oh, okay, David's learning something about multifamily underwriting. That's interesting. And then 3 months from now, when Shelly goes and says, look at this property we got, we're about to buy it, who else is interested, reach out to me. You now have created validation. You're not, they're not gonna look at Shelly and be like, what does she know about multifamily? She's trying to scam people. No. They've been seeing the post. You've been showcasing the people that you've been putting into work. And that's what you want. All right. So every opportunity you guys get, I don't care what it is. If you're teaching or if you're learning, you want to post it. You want to put it out. Let people know exactly what you're about and what you're doing so that when it's time, and I promise you, the time is going to come. When it's time, those individuals are going to, I mean, you're never going to see people throw money at you faster than how they're going to do it.
Remember one thing, guys, real quick. People buy results, not ideas. So the idea of like, oh, if you keep saying I want to do it, but there's no result or action being put behind it, the money's as good as gone, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So let's do this. My guy, I just made you co-host. And Tracy, we're bringing you up to the stage. Who's ready to underwrite some deals? Get your napkins out. If you do not have your napkins, put it in the chat. I'm about to drop the link for you guys right now. And Stacy, you are free to unmute. There you go. All right, so she put it in there. Did you see the link there?
Pulling it up right now. Perfect.
Awesome, awesome. And guys, the whole team is in here. So while this is going on, if you have a question or anything like that, feel free to. Joel said he's using his skin underwriting. All right, Joel, make it work, man. Make it work. Feel free to type in your questions. We will help you get things answered. Let's go to work, y'all. All right, so we got this property over in Arizona.
I like Arizona.
Looking good. Love Arizona. I'm definitely buy something out there. Tracy, you want to buy this one together?
Yes. So it has a assumable mortgage of 6.7 million with a 3.77 rate, which is why this is one of the two that I chose. I think I had to register with the brokerage to get the rent roll, so I can just give you the two numbers off of there that we'll need whenever we're doing the underwriting.
Okay, perfect. And guys, definitely do that, right? If you go into these sites, they're gonna ask you to register. Just do it. Get it out the way. You are an action taker and you want this information, do what needs to get done. All right, so as you see, Ed is putting in the information into the sheet. And so first thing, and I noticed in the chat too, right? Everybody went crazy for it. When you hear assumable, that's like toppings on ice cream.
So
right.
Real quick, just so you guys kind of get where I'm coming at. The reason why I highlighted this specific thing and why it's important, because, and this is something to keep in mind anytime you're talking about assumable debt, is you want to know the details of the loan. Just having the interest rate is not enough. Why? Here's the big reason. Interest only period is intact through June 2024. Kudos to this broker. They did a good job of putting that up there off the bat, right? Is my screen still sharing?
No, hold on.
Well, that's weird. Oh, okay. So I can talk about it anyway. So with the assumable loan is you want to know what the terms of the loan are, more than just the interest rate, because if it's interest only, one, that means off the bat your payments are going to be a lot lower than if it was principal and interest. But you also want to know, like, okay, if this ends June 2024, that means starting July 2024, I have an additional cost now. Yes, it is going towards equity because it's going principal, but that does not mean that, like, you have to factor that in. Your rents have to cover. Your cash flow to your investors has to cover that as well. So you want to make sure you're aware of that and know what that number is, because if you're already on a thin deal or you can't afford that increase, that could come around and bite you in the back, and you won't know for a year and a half. That's something where you definitely have to factor in when it comes to underwriting anything, because your investors need to know that. You don't want it to come July 2024 and they're like, why did my payments go down? Why are we making so much less? Well, your loan just increased in cost. If that's not a surprise, they're going to want in a year and a half, I promise that. So it's making sure you fully understand the details of the loan. If you don't have this information, let's say they just tell you there's an assumable loan. Simple way to do it is ask for your loan agreement. Loan agreement is like 130 pages with a bunch of details and verbiage that you probably don't need, but you can go down to page around 115 to 120, depending how long it is, and it'll give you the breakdown of all this stuff I'm mentioning. So ignore the other 120 plus pages at the moment on the loan agreement, but those few pages will paint the full picture. So now back to this real quick. The price we have here, 11,730. And Tracy, what were those numbers that you were talking about?
Oh, just the average rent, and
Perfect.
I think there's another one I pulled for, occupancy rate.
Cool. Oh, what's that current average?
Average is 1359.
1359.
Pro forma was 1431. There's 46 units. Occupancy rate is 87%. It's Class C.
And then regarding the capex, did they mention anything about the rehab, like value add costs of it?
Sorry, let me check the OM real quick. Interior value add, light interior value add. So not much is what they put in here. It's a one pager basically for the OM.
Okay, so it's like a flyer. Okay, not a problem.
Yeah.
So if it's at least interior, we want to prepare for the worst. So let's just throw. We'll do 7 for now, just in case. How do you know the property's class C and not B? So they'll usually say it, and if they don't, you can kind of tell by the area, and the rent. But usually the broker will tell you. And I'd always play on the safer side. Like, it's the same thing with anything in regards to underwriting. I always go safe. If they tell me expense ratio is 45%, I underwrite at 50. If they say it's gonna be 10K per unit, I underwrite at 12, for the rehab. So those are things you want to be aware of as well. Here's my thing though, with the them saying it's a C class, 4.7 cap rate in a C class is a little tight, in my opinion. And if anyone was on, for those of you that were on the broker call yesterday, remember one of the things we mentioned. Scroll down at the bottom. If anyone didn't know this, like they have this information here, right here. Even though this is cool, this is what we care about. When was it last updated? So 11 days ago. When was it created? These are two big things that help us with one, knowing if the information is accurate. Like if this was a few months ago, I'd be like, okay, we might need to update some information. But it's recent enough where like, okay, not much has changed. Also, you'll have an idea of days on market. So two things to keep in mind. Now, you haven't spoken to the brokers, have you?
No, but I do have additional information on the loan.
Cool. Go for it.
Okay, so it is 30-year amortization period. The term is 10 years. Prepayment penalty, I don't understand what this means. It says 9.5 years YM.
YM?
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest, with a rate like this, we're not gonna refinance anyway. At least I would avoid any every way not to. Yes, it's yield maintenance.
okay, and then monthly mortgage payment with interest only is 21,750. And then it also has a monthly payments after interest only, but I don't know where to put that.
So I wouldn't need that right away because I'll be able to calculate that on mine. But this helps and is good to know where I know it's interest only. I know what that amount is, and the rest will tell me whether I down the line factoring in the pro forma and doing more of like the deep dive market research on what the rents are. I'll have an idea of what that is, and I can underwrite it in this scenario of what it's going to cost today, what it's going to cost then.
Okay.
So you nailed it. You have everything we could possibly need. So thank you, because you made it very easy. See, when you have the right information and you know what to look for and you have all these questions answered, this is very quick to do. So then all we would do is just print this, submit it. It would come to me, and then I would put it to the next step. The reason why, like we've mentioned previously, no matter what, I'm always going to say is if there's an assumable loan, especially where the terms are promising like this, interest rate is strong, and actually it's a little, I wish it was a little high leverage, but it's not terrible. I'm excited to take a look at this. You know, this is something that I would want to put to the next step and be like, hey, do we have something here? And then having this, it makes it very easy for me to transition and just plug these into my advanced calculator, and I can give you an answer fairly shortly.
All right, so I have a follow-up question. Why would you want to look at it if the MAO is so low compared to what the asking price is?
Few reasons. One, it's low because of occupancy rate. That's one of the best ways that I could come in and add value. Because if I get that number up to like 95%, my MAO is going to increase. Right here. So let's say I put 95. Now this increases. Also, when there's an assumable loan, this doesn't factor debt, which my cost for capital is low. It allows me to still cash flow. It allows me to have my cost as low as possible until I increase the value, and then I can either refinance, sell, whatever I need to do, and make sure that my investors are happy, my team is happy, we're all getting those reps in, but also building the portfolio, which is what we want to do. let me real quick. Cool. Yeah, like Marcel said, investors are happy. The best thing you can ever do for an investor is over deliver on the promise you made them. The second best thing you can do is not lose their money. Well, I guess that's kind of first too, but you get my point. The quicker you could get them their money back, the quicker they will reinvest it into you, and like they're excited to do your next deal. So that's the best thing you can do is just duplicate that model and show them like, hey, we're active, look at what we're doing. Cool. And then the question always is going to become when there's an assumable loan involved, it's usually going to mean you have to come up with a high down payment. So I always ask, the first question is the seller willing to carry a portion of the difference? If they are, sweet, we can help, we can get the ball rolling. Like it gives us an opportunity to offer more. If not, then we kind of just, all right, is it still worth it for us to come up with all this capital and to get the deal done? So we have 6, 7. $57, 43, and this will be typical equity split. Joe, are you reference to with investors? So the common thing right now is about 80, 20, 70, 30. So this is essentially really quick based on the information you gave me. I'd use a napkin as a reference. This just shows how quickly I can plug it into my calculator and I can be like, all right, we have room to play here. Great question by Peter. When the debt is assumable, does the lender restrict the seller's ability to carry a second? So as in the seller would be in second position, or for the buyer to get an additional supplemental loan?
So the point I'm making is the lender in certain cases, I believe, won't allow the second position.
So the
Right.
seller wouldn't be second. They would essentially, you'd either tie them into the LLC as a principal, or you just have them as a note that's not necessarily recorded as a second position.
Yep.
But
Gotcha.
still hearing their
Yep.
entity.
Yep. They're part of the deal as an investor.
Exactly. Yeah, you could put them even as an LP.
Yep.
So this just shows once we have the information, we plug it in and we can kind of see where we go with the numbers to see if it works for us. I think they are asking too much for this. They're trying to leverage the percentage here with the assumable debt. If they were interested in carrying, I think there's a possibility, but this one, at least a quick glance and plugging into my calculator real quick, is a little on the higher price tag. Now, if this was, say, 10.5 maybe.
Is the tool you're using, Ed, showing a cap rate?
So I'm using the cap rate they gave us at 4.7. And that's what they gave us. I think
All right.
that they should probably be a little more generous, but they're not. Yeah, for me at the moment, this one, even with some seller carry, they're asking a little steep. One
Now,
thing you hear,
I wanna, can I jump in there real quick, Ed?
go for it.
Just to kind of make sure everybody is is understanding something, right? Every deal that you get is going to be steep. Every single one. There isn't a deal that, I mean, we looked at probably a few hundred at this point, right? And every single one is above what it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to go. So don't just because we're saying this to you doesn't mean that this is necessarily a bad deal. This is more so like, how can I put this? All right, for those of you who know how to cook, okay? You know when you first turn on the stove and you gotta kind of like, okay, now you're about to start cooking, so you wanna readjust the right flame for the meal that you're about to make. That's exactly what's happening here, right? We're gonna go through all of this so we can readjust where this deal really needs to be, right? And just like Victor said, the broker is just doing their job. They know you're gonna come back with what it probably should sell at. But in the event that you don't, they're not gonna stop you, right? Are you gonna stop someone from giving you a couple extra $1 million? If you're good in your heart, yes. And I'm not saying brokers are not, but you know what? Let's just leave that. Let's just go past that. So here's what I'm trying to say, right? What I'm trying to tell you guys is whenever you get a deal that's like this, what you're doing is understanding what the conversation needs to be like on the very next call to the broker. And that's where Ed and Victor and you know the team comes in, because they can help you when you're underwriting this now and you go through this process. When they reach back out to you and say, hey, here's the deal, here's what you want to do, here's why you want to do it, they can kind of walk you through the process of saying, okay, try to call back and ask them if we can do this, or is the seller willing to do this, right? Marcel said a quote from one of his brokers: if I make the seller and the buyer feel a little uncomfortable at the closing table, I did my job well. I can't argue with that, right? So they want everybody to be uncomfortable. You come a little bit higher than what you wanted, you come down a little bit lower, you meet somewhere in the middle, and everybody go home and eat ice cream. All right, so that's essentially the breakdown.
It's like we say when we send out our offer. We send out an offer, a 3 LOI or 3 offer LOI. If they take one of the 3, I did something wrong. That means because if I'm playing it safe on my 3 offers, and they're like, I want that one, or I want that one, they all work for me, then I offered way more higher than I should. The sweet spot's usually somewhere in between.
So we must make a lowball offer.
Not low, but
it doesn't have to be low. Like, so with multifamily, remember what we talked about. If you're on our broker calls, you'll hear us say this a lot. This is about building relationships, right? So you don't want to give like a low ball offer, because then you're going to get the broker to feel like you're not serious, right? We were on a call and the broker was complaining about an offer somebody made, and they wanted to get this deal under contract and was hoping that the seller was willing to do 50% seller financing. And there was like, it was a huge deal. It was kind of crazy. And, you know, listen, guts to the person that put that offer out there, but the odds of that actually happening is slim to none, right? But immediately that broker has a distaste for that person, and likely is probably going to blackball them, right? They don't want to do business with them because they feel like they're wasting their time, right? So you want to give out a low offer, but you don't want to use the same methodology that you would have in, let's say, single family, where you give like a low ball offer. That's not going to work in this industry.
Here's another point. I would never offer or propose something that I can't justify on my end. If I can't tell you why I'm offering that, if I can't paint the picture and say, hey, XYZ reasons are why I'm at this number, if I have wrong information, tell me. If I got the wrong market rents, or you think it's higher because of XYZ, let's have that conversation. That's how you build relationship with brokers as well, even if it's just on that first offer or that first outreach where it's like, hey, let's talk about this. Like, where can we, like, hey, if the property makes sense and you tell me why it's a higher price, I'm not gonna say no. I'll pay a higher price if my numbers work. Like if I hit my bottom line, if my goals are met with the offer I'm making, and they can justify why it's I was a little off, and my market rents are higher, for example. Okay, I'll offer more because now I have the ability to. It makes sense. But if it doesn't make sense, I'm not just gonna offer more because you're telling me I should offer more. You know, that just doesn't make sense. If they don't have the pro forma market rent, how do I find the accurate market rate? Also, can you describe what the 3 different LOI offers would be? Absolutely. So I have rent-a-meter access, thanks to a good friend of mine. That's a good place to look. If you don't have access to rent-a-meter or you don't have the subscription, one way to do it is Zillow, even though I don't love it because I can't check closed rentals, but it's a good way to see what's on the market at the moment. And then at that point, you might just have to reach out to more brokers or property management companies and build a relationship with them. That's the good part about going deep into a market and not wide into a lot of markets. What that means is if I'm looking in Dallas, I should know everything about Dallas. I should know the rents. I should know which streets, if I cross, the prices are different. I should know everything I can about that area if I'm going to buy multifamily property there. But if I go wide and I'm like, I want to do all of Texas, it's impossible for me to know everything about every city. Like, good luck. Even in the smallest state, it doesn't matter. You're not going to know everything about every city. So that's 2 ways that I would go about that. Now,
So really quick, right? I really want to harp in on that point that he just made about drilling down and also being able to take the time to build the relationships, right? Like property management companies, those property managers are a key in your business. So having 2 or 3 of them that you've kind of already built a relationship, they know what you guys are about, what we're trying to do together as a team. Like to call someone and say, hey, listen, I'm looking at this property, and they already know that property, the insight and detail that they can give you goes way beyond what Zillow and Rent-A-Meter can, right? Like for what Ed is doing, it gives him quick the number. But if he really, really wanted to, he would too, and he's done it as well, like reach out to the brokers. I mean, sorry, to the property management companies. This is why, you know, if someone says like, hey, I'm buying multifamily nationwide, and I want to make sure I don't offend anyone. Understand I'm coming from a place of trying to educate. If you are saying in your bio that you are buying multifamily units nationwide, the individuals who are doing it at a serious level are not taking you seriously because they know it's impossible to do that. So if you are looking to make an assignment or look for deals for particular buyers, and you have several buyers that are in different markets, it's better to say that than it is for you to say, I'm buying multifamilies, and the broker asks you where, and you say nationwide. Immediately, you took yourself out, right? They're not going to tell you that. That's the thing. And they won't tell you this because they want to make sure they're dealing with the right persons. And if you showcase yourself as not that, then you just help them save time. So stick with your market and become an expert. Build those relationships. Those are super, super key. And I'm glad Ed brought that point out.
And my last point to that is and it's not only you guys, we do this, Eddie and I and the entire team, we do this every week as well. We go on other people's Zooms to learn from them. They have a specialty and expertise that they have spent more time than I have on a specific topic. So why am I going to try to spend as much time, if not most likely more, to figure it out when I can just ask them? Why are you guys all on here? Because you can ask us questions that we'll be able to teach you faster than if you have to figure it out yourself. I've put the hours in. That's why we're comfortable sitting up here. It's the same thing with the property management when you're buying an asset. Like you have to put the right pieces in place and you never have to worry about what where your data is coming from. and it gives you an opportunity to check it, like it's a check and balances kind of thing. Like if you go to 3, 4 of them, they all give you about the same number. They either all are trying to play a hilarious practical joke on you, and please tell me if that happens because that's hilarious, or they're right. So that's one way to look at it. Real quick on the 3 offer LOI. Yes, so in today's market, the biggest thing is to keep cost of capital low. What that means is if I have a purchase price of 10 million, I want to borrow what I can, get a loan for what I can, but make my average cost of capital low, which is like your interest rates. That's why assumable debt's so great. My 3 offer LOI is, hey, I can offer you this price. Offer 1 is my highest offer. You're going to sell or carry X percentage. Offer 2 is a little less. And then my 3rd offer is a little less than that. I can show you guys in an example, actually, to make it easier real quick. And I'm just going to check to see if there's other questions. Cool, I think. Cool, I think that's the only question. So let me share this real quick. And guys, I know this isn't necessarily directly underwriting, but the idea is that you know where this falls to everything. So I'm gonna keep this short. Ignore these numbers, because this is just my template, but this is essentially my offer, like 45% seller carry, 30%, 20%. And you guys might be like, there's no way someone's willing to carry 45. I'm gonna ask. I'm that guy. Like, hey, yeah, I'm asking you to carry 45%. If your loan is leveraged 30%, that's 75%. I still have to come up with 25%. I'm gonna do it. Why not? Like, I have nothing to lose in that sense, because especially when it comes from wholesalers, and again, hope I'm not offending anyone, but if it's been 6 email threads until it finally got to me, yes, I'm gonna ask for the sun, stars, and the moon, because I can justify it. And that's kind of like what I said earlier, is if I can explain this number and tell them why I'm offering it, then I'm gonna offer it. It's really bad if you cannot explain it. That's where the issue will come. But I will never send an LOI that I can't explain. I believe someone else sent me a LoopNet listing.
Is there someone else that's, I thought I saw it too. If you have a deal and you want us to go underwrite it, that'd be the last one that we do for the night. But if you
Oh,
have,
I sent it to you, Edward.
Is it this one? Martin, Tennessee?
Yeah, that's the one.
all right,
Cool.
perfect.
Okay.
I have one thing with this though. I don't know if the documents are on here.
So really quick, if anyone is new, I want to make sure while we're looking for that, or if Deidre, if you can get those, the documents, what are these documents that we're talking about, right? You want to make sure that you get the OM. That's probably going to be the most famous one. Everybody kind of knows, you know, oh, I'm gonna send you the OM. That's the marketing ploy. That's the specialty. You know, the broker has his team spit shine that bad boy and make sure it looks really, really nice and presentable. It's a great tool, but you want to make sure that you get more than just the OM if possible, which I would recommend you get the T12, which would be the most recent updated version of it. If not, then get whatever the most recent they can give you. So it could be T3, it could be T6, and all that is saying trailing 12 months, okay? The profit and loss over the last 12 months, the trailing 12 months, the trailing 3 months, T3, the trailing 6 months, T6, okay? And then the other thing that you want to get is rent rolls, which is basically should be an outline list of everyone that's in the property, how long they've been in there, if they're going out next month or not, you know, all them details, how much they're paying. These are extremely important if you want to make sure that you guys can get the information to underwrite a deal successfully.
So real quick, it looks like this one you have to request the documents, but this is essentially what an OM looks like. Yes, it's 60 pages for this one. No, it doesn't always have to be. But I'm not gonna go through each section, but this is a good way to kind of table contents. Perfect. Tells you exactly what you're gonna find in here. Now, is it good to have this if you have nothing else? It's a good starting place. But like Eddie mentioned, the T12 is going to be your most accurate. Your rent roll is going to be great in terms of knowing how quickly can I turn over units. Like if they say, hey, there's 30% upside in rents, and then you look at the rent roll and none of the tenants are leaving for the next 6 months, guess who's not increasing rents for 6 months? You know, like that's a huge factor. And all of a sudden you're like, okay, that's cool, but 6 months you can't do anything because they're locked into a lease. So it's information that you need to know when you're looking at a property. And like we always say, what is it? Sellers are liars or buyers are worse.
Buyers are liars, sellers are worse.
Brokers are the worst. Okay, cool. So like market overview, they're just gonna tell you about the city. Lease comparables, they're gonna pick the best ones. Sales comparables, they're gonna trust me, I'm licensed in California. I'm a realtor. I can make you believe the comps on any property you give me. Any broker can. It's just what would they want to show. So get comfortable with it. You will have some nice information on here that's good to practice. Because at the end of the day, you want to be able to say, hey, why is X different from Y? And that's a big thing that you'll see on these documents where the rent roll doesn't match the T12 or neither of them match the OM. I had a broker who I actually got a little upset at because on the OM, they say the city population is 45,000 in a 10-mile radius. But Google tells me it's 3,000. And I'm like, buddy, there's a big difference. So I clearly didn't pursue it, but those are things to factor in. This is a link I was on, DJ. So the documents aren't here. So usually with LoopNet, and I'll show you on a different one. For example, this is someone I'd have to contact the agent for, and they'll be able to send us the documents. But let's say I go to any other property on LoopNet. Sometimes
Real quick, Edward. So I have a document that's like a 49 pager. I mean,
this-
I'm thinking, yeah, for this. So
might
the
be-
person I'm working with contacted the broker. So maybe I have to email it over to you because I don't know how to send a PDF. I don't know if I can send a PDF in Zoom. Can I?
Here, just send it to me. That's fine. Cool. Just send it there, and then I'll be able to pull it up.
Awesome.
So right away, another thing that LoopNet provides, like with this map here, you want to get an idea of where it is. The more you do out of state, and this is why also going deep into a city helps, is you want to know what you're near. If it's a smaller city you're not familiar with, okay, how close are they to the big ones? Like this is a little further out than I would probably like, but that doesn't mean it's not an opportunity because these cities, if they're really populated and they have a lot of stuff going on, I'd still take a look at it. But what I was saying in regards to LoopNet, and we'll be able to
Hey, can you guys still hear Ed? Can you guys hear Ed still?
yes, no.
Okay, now we can hear you.
And now
Yeah.
you're back.
Now you're back, yeah. So last thing we heard you say in regards to LoopNet.
Yeah, so with LoopNet, you have most of the time they will show you, they'll give you the financials. Give me one sec. But if they don't, then you just have to reach out to them and get it by email. It's not ideal, and sometimes they don't get back to you. But if you want to get the information
Ed, you went out again. So what Ed is explaining is essentially being on top of the brokers, right? Because sometimes you are going to send over the information and it may not be the right information, or it may not be exactly what you're looking for, or it may be wrong completely, right? And they believe that it's right. And a lot of times it's not them. They have junior brokers, they have assistants that work with them, and all they're doing all day long is deals, right? Deal flow and et cetera. So don't call them out thinking they're trying to play a game on you, because it works both ways, right? If you are messing up, you can get blackballed quickly. But if a broker is messing up, trust and believe, a lot of people know about it, right? And yes, Tracy, I agree. The LA internet is rough. He's suffering from all types of issues. He lives in LA, he's a realtor in LA, and he has internet in LA. So it's a rough night for him, for sure.
My internet is exhausted as I am most days.
All right, so you pulling it up for us now.
Yeah.
Do we have, is this gonna be enough of what we need? Because this is just the OM, right?
Yeah.
Can we pull enough off of it to underwrite this?
Possibly we should be able to. I think so.
All right, let's see what
I
we can
might
do.
not. I might not have the market rent.
All right, if you guys are thoroughly enjoying all the hard work that Ed is bringing to the table, if you're learning something, let me see some fires or some ones or some Excel spreadsheet emojis, whatever you want to put in there, just to be able to show some love, give them some energy. What you guys don't know is Ed doesn't have anything else that he's doing in regards to, you know, like some people are doing this part-time or et cetera, et cetera. This is what Ed is doing full-time. So when we do these 8 p.m. calls, Ed was already up from the morning time going over deals, and then he still is willing and just would not refuse to miss a night to be able to come and give to you guys. So definitely show that man some love. Send him some Starbucks coffee, coupons. And if you have a hookup with the internet, please send your contact to get him some better internet. All right, so what are we looking at here with this deal?
Cool.
So
real
well, while you're doing that, was that Deidre that had this deal?
yeah.
Deidre, how'd you get a hold of this deal? Could you give us some story on it? Or was it just you found it on LoopNet?
Right, sure. So I've been working with someone who's in the multifamily space, and basically I'm just helping her to dispo.
Good.
I kind of,
Collaboration, we love it.
yeah, definitely. So she's the one who sent me this about a week ago.
About a week ago. All right, that's it.
So
No
is
more
this under
references.
contract?
It's under contract. How so?
Is it under contract?
I'm not sure. Like with her,
Yeah.
I would suppose. I mean, she's the one who reached out to the broker. I basically had to sign an NDA to work with her. I mean, she sent me like 3 properties so far. I can ask.
Okay. Yeah, that's good to know for sure. All right, let's see what the asking price is on this. So we have 45 units. Average market rent is about $750. So they don't have, do you know the price on this? Because on here they say price to be determined. Which is very common, so don't feel like it's a bad thing.
Oh, the price is 3.5 million.
3.5, cool. So you'll see
Yeah.
that, guys, as well, and we've mentioned this before. They sometimes, especially in today's market, brokers don't like putting a price. You just gotta ask them and kind of bug them. Because not that it's hard to do without a price, like it's still possible. It's just not ideal. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to be the one to give your price first, because then you might accidentally or not knowingly offer more than they would have ever taken. Hence again, like with my whole 3 LOI method of, I'd rather give a bunch of options and then I'm indirectly asking them the questions that I need to know the answers to, because then I can do process of elimination. Be like, okay, is what's important? The price, the terms, the monthly payment if we're doing seller finance or seller carry, all the above. This is good to know, the utilities, who's paying for it, and how you can add more additional income and lower your expenses. Property features, you'll see some brokers throw that in there. And then when you have 2 buildings, they'll just tell you a little bit about each one. Now, this one is for, I believe, one of them. So this is their essentially 10-year projection. Again, the brokers putting this as a way to show like, hey, look at all this upside you have. I would really just try to focus mainly on like, okay, what can we do in the short term? Because that's what the investors are really going to want to focus on. Like how quickly can you pay their money back, like we've mentioned. So gross potential rent income, and then you just get this by dividing it. So their current is at 421. And I don't believe they have an assumable loan. And we kind of got what we can go with here.
Now, while he's doing that, I want to point something out, right? You're going to have some deals that are going to come your way that's going to say huge value add opportunity or something of the sort, right? Know what your investors are wanting. Like, what are they willing to put money behind? If you know your investors are not really looking, because whenever you hear huge value add opportunity, you got to look at that closely and figure out, are basically, are they saying this property needs a bunch of rehab done, which means your capital expense cost is going to go up through the roof. Be prepared, right? Or are they saying this property is, is in whatever shape, but it doesn't have any of the extra features and amenities that it could possibly have. So great opportunity, right? So always look at deals from the back end of where your money is, what type of deals your money is looking to invest into. It'll save you a lot of time and heartache.
Definitely.
So what it's looking like. So right now it's saying just based off of the rent, it's about 2.5 value add. But it looks like the valuation that we got should be at 1.5 instead of the 3.5 they're asking for.
So here's something to keep in mind as well when you're looking at anything in a smaller city. there's a good chance the cap rate's going to be higher. That's important though because of just the fact that, okay, on the resale and refinance side,
Ed, could you
I'm
move,
not going to be able
could you
to.
move your,
Yeah.
move your mouse?
Hold on, there we go.
There you go.
You're not going to be able to get that same, like, as much as I say I'm not the biggest component of like base everything on cap rate, it's important to note because if you're going to refinance, your cap rate is almost your tell-all. Like, that's one thing banks are going to consider. So you do want to be careful in that sense where, okay, if a cap rate's high in a specific area, then I have to keep that in mind on the back end. It's that's your exit, yeah, your point of exit and valuation, cap rate's going to be a factor. We look more on cash flow, but again, that's a key component of the big picture. So like Eddie was saying, the value add is there. Also you can see when I do change the cap rate, how it affects the allowable offer. So if I go to 5, it jumps to 2.1. If I take this down to 4, it goes to 2.7. I being in LA, I see it 3.5, and they're like, okay, you could offer 3 million. Now, at 7, it doesn't look that great. But if we contact the broker and broker's like, yeah, they're willing to do seller carry on it, okay, maybe there's a chance there. Then we would go further. But if you tell me there's no assumable then, there's no seller carry, we're probably going to pass on this. And that's the point of the napkin underwrite is like, if I have no additional information, would I put an offer on this property right now? If the answer is no, cool, move on to the next. It's one thing why we preach so much and try to explain, like, find what you're good at, run with it, and team up, is because if I have a team with me, which I'm lucky to say I do, and a great one, I know that they are sending me deals all the time. So I am not going to waste my time on a deal that right off the bat I can say is not going to work. So then I just move on to the next.
Mhm.
But these are two good examples, and these are what I want to do more of. You know, that's why we have the schedule we do, where bring stuff to the table, we'll look at it, and if it looks good, we'll go a step further. But this is just kind of the practice you want to keep getting into using this tool. And as you can see, if you have the information and know where to look, it's really easy to jump in, plug it in, get a number out, move on to the next one. So any questions on that?
All right, perfect. Love it, love it, love it. Linda, shoot me a text message so we can set that up for you. We are at our time and I absolutely love it. Like, we went to work, and I want to make sure that everybody gets this one thing too, right? Like, understand this. The phase that we're in right now, I want you guys to be used to just underwriting, especially the napkin underwriting. I want you guys to get used to like going through deals, going through like boom, 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 boom. If every deal that you get, you're taking an hour and a half to do the napkin underwriting, you're not gonna get a deal. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You're not gonna get a deal. Majority of whatever you're gonna look at, you're gonna be turning away because it's not gonna necessarily fit what your investors are looking for or what you're looking for, or you're gonna say, hey, this number is too high. Are they willing to? No, we're not. Okay, you go to my follow-up pile. I'll call you back in 3 months, right? Especially in this time frame that we're in right now. There's a lot of testing the waters that's happening right now. So as we leave, I think I'm gonna don this the new music that we're gonna play to leave, to get you guys in the right mindset of what you should be doing when these deals come in. I want you to drop these deals like it's hot. The broker sends you a deal. If it doesn't make sense, throw it away. Okay. Don't have no like, oh man, I'm not gonna listen, get rid of the deal. If it's not a good deal, if it don't fit exactly what you're looking for, play this song. Matter of fact, when you're underwriting the deals, play this song in your background. Okay, so you can know it's okay to drop it like it's hot. Get rid of the deal that doesn't fit your buybacks. I'm giving you permission to not be a magician, not be a mathematical wizard, and try to figure out how can I somehow get more of money to come up to what they want. If it don't work, it don't work. It's okay. There's so many more deals that is gonna come your way because you're not wasting time on the bad ones and you're spending time being able to focus on the good ones that come your way. And when you do have a good one, you'll be able to do two things. You'll recognize it faster, okay? And it's gonna be amazing, right? Because you're gonna be like, wait a second, my spreadsheet said it should be 3.5. They're asking 3.2. That's when you lose your shit, right? That's when you're like, oh, okay, let me call everybody. Let's figure this out, right? And you'll know exactly what to do because you are in the system and you're part of a community that absolutely loves you guys. Tracy has a question. What qualifications does the Napkin underwriter need to have in order to submit for elevated underwriting? Personally, I look for the value add in the rents. That's the top thing that I look for. If that box turns green, that's my first indication. Now, there's things that I would say strengthens my case. Is there an assumable loan? Is the seller willing to do seller carry? Those add on to the case, right? This is like making me feel like, you know what? I like this even more. And then when I look at the validation, if my number and the seller's number are close or the seller's in a negotiable state, then I would submit, right? But if my number is 3.5, seller's at a 7 point something, that goes into 5, that I'm playing the music, right? I'm calling Snoop Dogg, right? Drop it like it's hot. No emotions, let the deals go. The numbers don't make sense. I'm telling you guys. And one last thing, just to drive this point home, all of the big guys and girls that are doing this, they aren't doing a bunch of they're not buying a bunch of multifamily, guys. They're literally buying one deal. Grant Cardone is buying one deal a year now. You have some crazy superstars, right? Like how many deals did Carlos buy? I think Carlos brought 2 last year, right? Max I've ever seen someone buy is 3 in 1 year and they almost died. All right, so hear me out when I say this to you. You guys are in the right place at the right time. Put in the work. Do not let the time frame that's coming discourage you to think that, hey, it's not happening fast enough. It will happen at the right time. You just put in the work. All right, with that being said, it is 9:30. I love you all. Ed, you got anything you need to say, want to say?
Nope. Thank you all for being here. You guys are awesome. Let us know how we can help you and provide more value. Peace out and have a good night.
Do it. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night, y'all.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Have a good night.
No problem. Have a good one.
Thank you. Have a good one.